Hello, everybody, and welcome to my college football pregame show. The first college football Saturday in November. We are 2 months in to this crazy college football season. This weekend's going to play a lot. Could be some crazy upsets. This is going to be a really fun college football weekend. I am covering Tennessee hosted Oklahoma at night. Neyland is going to be bumping like it always is. That is going to be a classic showdown. Loser of that game is going to have a less than 10% chance to get in. Winner's going to have a pretty high chance of getting in. Let's get right into it. Tennessee, fresh off the blowout win over Kentucky, and before that frustrating loss against Alabama, couldn't beat Georgia. They don't have a good win, Tennessee. I don't really think they do. Barely beat Mississippi State on the road. Not saying they're a bad team, Tennessee, just they need to get it together. They have one of the best offenses in the country. Joey Aguilar has been great. I think he throws a bit too many picks, but he's been good. Oklahoma, fresh off of the heartbreaker at home to Ole Miss. Of course, they got blown out to Texas. Also, they got the big win over Michigan, and they beat Auburn, but that's not very impressive. So yeah, Michigan's their best win, so they don't have a huge win either. But yeah, John Mateer's gonna have a Heisman Day on the road in SEC primetime against Tennessee to keep his team alive. Was Heisman favorite before his hand injury. He missed the Kent State game. Then he played horrible against Texas. Played mid against Ole Miss and South Carolina. But yeah, Sooners need to get it going. This is a must-win. I honestly think if this season spirals, is this their gauntlet stretch of their schedule? Their last 5 games starting last week are really hard. So if it starts spiraling, I think Venables could be fired. Because, I mean, come on. 2 of his 3 years have been losing seasons. Has a chance to just spiral this year and fall apart. I don't know. But yeah, this is a huge game in Neyland. Tennessee looks to go to back-to-back college football playoff. Oklahoma looks to go for the first time. So this is going to be a really fun game. Nighttime, Neyland. It might be the most hostile environment in the country, or at least it's up there. It's going to be a party down there at night. Must win for both those teams. It's going to be a great atmosphere. Now let's get right into other games. 9th-ranked Vanderbilt going on the road to play 20th ranked Texas. Arch Manning is cleared to play. He's cleared to play after having his best career game in the comeback win against Mississippi State, beating out the game-winning touchdown. That was their backup, unfortunately. But it's a huge game. If Vanderbilt wins, because a 10-win Vanderbilt team I say is going to get into the college football playoff. And if they win this game, they'll be 8-1, and their next 2 games will be home games against Auburn and Kentucky, who combined for 1 win in SEC play. So I think if they win this game, they're gonna be like close to a lock for the college football playoff. Because in that game in Tennessee, it don't matter, because if they win, they might be in the SEC championship or they'll be hosting a playoff game. But like they should already have locked it in. But if they lose today, maybe a 9-3 Vandy team could get in, but probably not. So then they'd have to go into Neyland and win, which I don't feel too confident about. But yeah, this is a huge game for Texas. Loss pretty much eliminates them. They have 1 loss in conference play, 2 losses overall because of the Ohio State loss. They're mad about that Texas loss. Florida loss, because Florida's not a good team. But yeah, this is going to be a fun one. Vanderbilt is a great team. Austin's going to be bumping. Texas was like 21-point favorites going into the year. They were ranked number 1, projected to win national championship. Vanderbilt was expected to like maybe get a bowl game, maybe. But this has been a lot different. It wouldn't be an upset as Texas is favored, even though they're 11 ranks lower. Now, the game that would have been the game of the year, or was expected to be, Penn State going into first-ranked Ohio State, expected to be the game of the year. Preseason rankings had number 2 Penn State going into number 3 Ohio State. Penn State this season has spiraled. They are 3-4 unranked, 4 straight losses, all by 1 score, and their last 2 losses have been by 1 point. They have fired their coach, and their quarterback's out for the season, and Ohio State's out. People always complain Penn State can never beat Ohio State 8 straight times failing. What if this is their year? That would be stunning for this to be the year they beat them. Because maybe it was a James Franklin issue. He's gone now. I doubt it, though. I think it would be closer than people are saying. They're like 18.5-point favorites. I think it would be closer than that. But I do think that the Buckeyes will get it done. But yeah, Buckeyes are a great team. Everyone's like, who have they played? Yes, they haven't played anyone that good. But also Oregon, they've played. I get it. Penn State game was huge at the time, but really, I don't take away as much credit as most people, kind of like Josh Pate, considering they did start the collapse, and it would have been completely different in Penn State. But still, I take away more credit than Josh Pate does, probably. But then, they played in Indiana, but they lost. It doesn't matter if you played the best team in college football, but you lost. It doesn't matter. So, yeah, and Ohio State's been dominating everyone. Illinois was a pretty tough team that they played, blew them out. Blew out Washington pretty well on the road, beat them by 18 points, so they have pretty good wins. 10th ranked Miami going into SMU. SMU season is pretty much over after a heartbreaking loss to Wake Forest, but only one loss in conference play. They can still get in. If they beat Miami today, which is very possible, that takes about 44 minutes. That would be, a huge shifting win. Brett Lashley signed like a 7-year contract extension, so he's locked in at SMU, and so is Max Rule with his extension. But yeah, this is a big game for Miami. They are tied, 10th, with BYU. But yeah, they've already been upset. If they lose this game, we might be looking at Miami now making the college football playoff again, which would be kind of crazy. But yeah, this is a huge game. It's SMU season. 5th ranked Georgia. They're not going into Florida. It's the neutral site. It's normally in Jacksonville, but I think it's in Atlanta. I'm actually not sure. But yeah, classic rivalry. This was a preseason top 15 showdown. Not so much anymore. Well, actually, there's actually one more game I'm going to talk about. But yeah, I think. But then, sorry, I'm just writing down Arizona State versus Iowa State so I can talk about that. And a big group of 5 game. Navy versus North Texas. I'm sorry. I just look at the games and see which ones I want to pick, but there's not a ranked team in either of the showdowns. But yeah, classic rivalry. Florida could pull off the upset. First game without Billy Napier, but they kept with Georgia last year. Just saying, Georgia's ranked 5th in the country. One loss. Another loss would really hurt their CFP hopes, considering they have Georgia Tech later on down the road and Texas. That could be a catastrophic loss. And you guys know I was a Florida believer. I've them at number 7 in my rankings, and I've still believed in them. Almost picked them over LSU, picked them over Miami, picked them over Texas, picked them over Texas A&M. I of course won't tell you my pick. I want it to be a surprise, but that is a huge game. Classic rivalry. Upsets can happen in rivalry games. No one cares about records in rivalry games. Records don't matter, as we saw last year in the game, Michigan stunning Ohio State. 15th ranked Virginia going into California. Long trip for Virginia. Their last 4 wins have all been by barely. 8 points, 8.1 in double OT over Florida State. 6 points in overtime over Louisville. 2 points over Washington State, and 1 point in overtime over North Carolina. They are begging to lose. That's what Reese Davis said on College Game Day today. They're begging to lose. California, even after that Virginia Tech loss, they're a great team. It's a long trip for Virginia. There could be 3 huge upsets in the ACC. I already talked about Miami. Now Virginia. And you gotta look at Georgia Tech at night. I'll talk about that game. But yeah, California, frustrated about that Friday night loss last week. But put that behind you. You have a chance to stun Virginia. They control their own destiny for an ACC championship berth. Because their loss to NC State was in week 2, so they didn't count it for conference record, so they are undefeated in conference play. But yeah, Virginia's just begging to lose. They are probably the biggest fraud in college football. I will say, going into Louisville and winning is impressive, but I still think Virginia's kind of a fraud. And I think most people agree with me. Most people would agree with this, that Virginia is a fraud. I mean, who knows? We don't know for sure. But I would not be shocked if Tony Elliott's squadron kind of falls apart in November, because that's what a lot of people are saying. But yeah, this is a big game. How about South Carolina going into 7th ranked Ole Miss? Back-breaking loss to Alabama. You led by 8 in the 4th quarter, and you let it slip away. 29-22 loss. But Shane Beamer's squadron always gets ready for November. Last year, back-breaking road loss against Alabama. Then they blew out. I can't remember the team, but they blew out a team. This has been so disappointing because South Carolina was last year, if Lenore Sellers didn't get hurt against LSU, they are probably in the college football playoff, and now they're like, okay, that's frustrating, but this year is our year. And I thought it was going to be, I had them at like 9th in my preseason rankings. I was a huge Lenore Sellers believer, and here we stand, they're 3-5. It all started with the Vandy blowout loss, which no longer looks good, unfortunately, for Vanderbilt. But yeah, South Carolina, people are like, Ole Miss, give me CFP AP after the Oklahoma win. Okay, what is our seed's going to be? That's what I heard Josh Pate say. Like, literally, everyone's like, okay, it is over. You still got South Carolina. You got Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl on Thanksgiving Day. Ole Miss struggles in that game. Mississippi State's pretty good this year. That, I think, is a very possible upset. And so is this. Like, let's not be downing South Carolina. We could see the true South Carolina team any day. Exactly like Florida, too. 8th ranked Georgia Tech going into NC State. Night game in Raleigh. And disappointing year for NC State. I mean, the big Virginia win, but still, that wasn't big at the time. Dave Doreen is on the hot seat. He might be fired, but if they pull off the stunner here against Georgia Tech, that'll significantly cool his seat. That would kill everything for Georgia Tech, and that would be huge for the ACC. And NC State's good. They can pull off this upset at home. It's nighttime. It's going to be nighttime down there in Raleigh. You do not want to go in there. And that is a very potential trap game. You better fear that one. But Haynes King's going to want to have a Heisman-like day again. 23rd ranked USC going into Nebraska. I think Josh Pate said like Nebraska doesn't have like a win against like a top 25 opponent in like forever. But Nebraska's at home. Both of these teams highly unlikely they get into the college football playoff, but you never know. Nebraska, the back-breaking loss to Minnesota, especially considering very next week Iowa beat Minnesota by 38 points. But yeah, this is going to be fun. Nebraska, if they win, they're kind of right back in that mix, 7-2. They'll be right back in there. It's just Nebraska kind of has a thing for just not being able to beat good teams. Couldn't beat Michigan where a lot of people thought they would, or I thought they would. It's at home. But yeah, of course, it's going to be another sellout crowd. They have like the longest streak ever of a sellout crowd. Go Nebraska. Max Rule is locked in now. He's not going to be leaving for like the Penn State job. Maybe things get going. It'll open up kind of like a CFP window. 17th ranked Cincinnati at 24th ranked Utah. Oh wait, no. Yeah. So this is a big game. 9:15 kick, which I'm kind of sad about because that's kind of late. I mean, I'll watch a little bit of it, but I kind of was hoping for more like 6:30. But yeah, it's going to be a party down there in Utah. This game is huge. If Cincinnati wins, they're unbeaten in conference play. That could put them in a great position to reach the Big 12 title game. Utah wins 2 losses in conference play. I get that, but they're in that mix. They are right in that mix, Utah. If they win, it's at home. It's going to be a great environment for Utah. That's going to be a fun game. And Brendan Sorsby, if he has a great day on the road against a great defense when College Game Day came there, he's going to soar up that Heisman list because he should be higher. But Arizona State, Iowa State, I don't know where the game's taking place, but that is a huge game. Huge game. Rematch of the Big 12 championship. Sam Levitt's out for the year, so highly unlikely Arizona State gets anything going. Iowa State season is over after a 3rd consecutive loss. Both of these teams have had disappointing seasons. There's really no way for it to get better. Iowa State wants revenge, though. Navy, North Texas, huge group of 5 game. We already saw Memphis blow out Rice. We already saw UTSA shockingly blow out Tulane. And now it's like, I think we might lose Navy. Navy has had one of the easiest schedules in the country. They're 7-0. North Texas is 7-1. This is the only game this weekend between 2 7-win teams, which is crazy. But yeah, this could be a fun game. Huge group of 5 game. But yeah, now let's get to picks. Vanderbilt going into Texas. Arch Manning's playing. Austin's going to be bumping. They know they need it. Arch Manning fresh off of the best game of his career. Pavia was bad last week. But do we see Pavia having back-to-back bad games? So I've got about a bad game against Bama. Yes, he had to bye week before that, but still. Then he balls out against LSU and has a Heisman contending day. Just saying. And LSU was a great defense. Everyone was saying great defense. Everyone was saying Texas is a great defense. I do think Texas is better than LSU because, like, who would LSU played while Texas has gone through? They have shut down Oklahoma and Ohio State, but still. So give me Vanderbilt going into Austin. The magical story continues in Nashville. They go into Austin and win. Have back-to-back home games where if you win them, you're in hook 'em down. Let's go Doors. How about Penn State going into Ohio State? Like I said, I think it's going to be closer than people are saying it's going to be. It's going to be closer than people are saying. Give me the Buckeyes, though. They're not going to lose this game. They never lose to Penn State. It's not going to be this year when Penn State's lost 4 in a row, is 3-4 and unranked. They have an interim coach and their quarterback's out for the year. It's not going to be this year. Get revenge on Jim Knowles. Make him regret leaving. Now Miami going into SMU. SMU is excited for this game, even after the heartbreaker against Wake. Kevin Jennings was bad last week. He's not going to play bad again. SMU is showing the field. Miami is going to be stunned after such a disappointing performance against SMU. Georgia, Florida. I don't know. I do not know. But here's the thing. Neutral site, but Florida's going to rally around firing Billy Napier. Give me Florida. I am a huge DJ Lagway believer. I still believe in DJ Lagway, even after everything that's gone on this year. Give me Florida to beat Georgia. The Dogs are going to be like, really? That's what they're going to be saying. Virginia going into California. People I don't think would really consider this an upset. Because I mean, Virginia's a big fraud. So give me California, and what would be an upset, they would storm the field, but, like, wouldn't be that big considering they're a fraud. Virginia. But, yeah, give me another upset. South Carolina going into Ole Miss. Oxford is going to be excited for this game. It's going to be close. It's going to come down to the wire, but I think Ole Miss squeaks it out. Another heartbreaker for Shane Beamer and his group. Bowl game is going to be pretty much out of the question. Another heartbreaker is what I'm thinking. Georgia Tech going into NC State at night. It's going to be tight. NC State's going to be up late, and then they're just going to slip away. Give me Haynes King and Georgia Tech to be clutch and pull off a surviving win over NC State. 23rd ranked USC at Nebraska. I don't know, really, but I think Nebraska's at home. Home field advantage is going to be huge. It's a long trip for USC. Give me Nebraska back into the rankings. Second big win of the year because they're the only team to beat Cincinnati. That team's going to be rolling again and looking great. 17th ranked Cincinnati at 24th ranked Utah. Big game, night game. Give me Utah. They're at home. They got a great defense. Best defense Brendan Sorsby in Cincinnati's gone up against. Give me Utah to be partying right back in the CFP race. Let's go. Arizona State, Iowa State. Sam Levitt's out for the year. Iowa State wants revenge. They want to snap this 3-game skid. Give me Iowa State to beat Arizona State. This time they don't. Sam Levitt's out, so they don't have to deal with him. And this time they don't have to deal with Scatterboo Magic. Navy, North Texas, big group of 5 game. Navy's had one of the easiest schedules in the country. Give me North Texas. We lose an undefeated team, but the only undefeated team we lose. Now the game I'm covering, per se. Oklahoma going to Tennessee, Neyland at night. There's probably no better environment in the country than that, or maybe like Death Valley at night, or not last week. But still, give me the Vols. Huge home win for that program, right back in that CFP race in a heartbreaking moment for Oklahoma. Well, that's it for this episode of the College Football Show, or of the College Football Pregame Show. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow for my College Football Show. Bye now.